You could have just left it on instead of turning it on.
Hey, look, it's survivors over there. Finally, they came. Doc, over here. What the heck just happened? Where is everybody?
Okay, that noise. I slid the tablet, the tablet that I was recording with at that point. I slid it and it made that noise. It's doing it continuously.
Well, hurry up and get inside the helicopter. We'll probably bring him back. No,
making that noise.
John, you go out there and stay with them, alright? Yeah, I will. Dorian, I'm coming. Be careful. Alright, get inside now. We'll give you 5 minutes and then you can get out.
Okay, this is the part that I kind of pretty much screwed up at this point. Because why would I could make Alan Grant tell how much time he has to get to young Henry Cavill or Reed? I'm sorry, I just like to call him young Henry Cavill because apparently he has the face of Henry Cavill. But I'm just saying that he had to go rescue Reed, and he responds, "There's no time. We need 10 minutes instead." I should have just responded, "There's no time. He's gonna go."
There's no time. We need 10.
Oh my god.
Alright, 10 it is.
10 minutes it is? Oh my god. Yeah, I screwed up that point. Okay, I had the base on him for the standing, and then I removed it as the next shot, and then I put it back on for the next shot when he slits through the...
I hope he's gonna be okay. But don't worry, get inside of the helicopter now. Like I said, we give him 10 minutes.
Actually, he told you to give 10 minutes. And then the next part is part 5, where he rescues Reed, and then they fight the giant T-Rex later on. That they defeated that thing. I got a little too excited at that point again.
Dr. Grant. Yeah, it's me, Jim. What the hell are you doing here? Came to get you the hell out of this place. This place is about to go off in any second.
Yeah, like I said, I stammer my lines too much at this point.
I guess I'll find any vehicles around. There's vehicles around?
If you got to one room.
There's vehicles around here. Come on, I'll show you the way. Hey, where is it? Hey, over there. Come on, it's over here. Wait up. Oh my god. That reminds me of the other vehicle that was outside, the one that was destroyed. Yeah.
Well, because I only got one vehicle, sorry. One vehicle, and I used that to my advantage because I thought to make it multiple other videos.
Alright. Hang on. Alright, let's get out of this.
I said alright twice.
I don't know if I can hang on. We gotta get out of here now. Wait, no, not without the aliens. They're not out. Yeah, he's right. We're not leaving. What are you doing? I see them. They're coming.
There they go.
Oh my god, it's locked.
That sudden silence was actually the fact that I made this a separate video. Like, I had to shoot it several times, or different times. Here comes the T-Rex again.
Damn T-Rex. How'd you know?
Why would you ask that?
It's familiar to me.
And why would you ask, oh, how'd you know? Obviously, it's the dang T-Rex. Predator theme song. That annoying Godzilla roar that's on the T-Rex.
Grant, don't move. Reed, what the hell are you doing?
Something that should have been done a long time ago.
No way. I think he has a plan. What kind of plan? Something familiar.
And by something familiar, it's the same sequence from Aliens and Carnosaur 2 combined.
Come on.
And speaking of aliens, we'll be getting to a certain sequence in a moment that I will be pausing to tell you. How did that T-Rex move from one area to another? Just before the T-Rex can turn over to Reed and notice that the car was there, Reed was like, "Get away from them, you bitch!" That is literally the line that was in the film. And I cut it out because I didn't want to rip off too much of Aliens at this point. I'm like, okay, Reed's gonna be like Ripley in this entire scene. And I'm making the noise again. The T-Rex and the Reed are having a big fight. And honestly, it doesn't look that good. It's just him pulling that net up. This point, I try to make it look like he got caught by the net, but literally, it's just the net is on the side of the car, and the T-Rex is still, yep, it's already there in that shot.
Come on.
Yeah, it's too much like Aliens. And he got the net. Yeah, because the net's already annoying, and yet the T-Rex had to chew it off a second time.
Oh God, it's hard.
Yeah, right. I like this shot. It's just that sudden memory of filming at night.
But we got to help him. He's in danger.
See, they think about not helping him, but the others was like, well, later on they're gonna help him anyway. The car had to tip over twice, by the way. It was like this certain shot when the T-Rex just flips over the car with his face, and Reed has to go. Reed goes down. It kept going back and forth, like it's the car going over here, and then it keeps going back up, and then like that. I like that part too. Like the part when the T-Rex's foot stomps on the ground of that one shot near the car. Reed escapes, and now he's almost lunged. Reed gets up, but then he falls down again in the next shot. Had to make that sound for the machine gun turret to turn. So now they decided to help Reed out while Reed is up there sitting there. Now the sound effect that's placed there, the Alien Colonial Marines post-rifle sound effect, that was placed in because in the original version, the machine gun sound effect was not recorded well because I shook the hell out of the dang tablet for the effect, and it made the sound a little bit less loud than usual, so yeah.
The job is finished. Oh my God. You killed the T-Rex.
Duh.
One of the most rarest animals in the whole time.
It's not a rare animal.
That's okay.
You killed one of the most rarest dinosaurs of all time, and that's okay. I try to make it look like a sad moment where the T-Rex dies. You got that Alien 3 theme music playing. But to tell you the truth, it's not really sad when you got this thing eating up people. I killed a T-Rex.
Get inside now. If you want to live.
The T-Rex is dead. It's trying to make it look like a dramatic shot.
Alright, let's get out of this place.
Honestly, I didn't like the way that music tried to go aim together because I actually kind of messed up on the music. Like the music to be timed in the right place. Now this shot I filmed in the house because I didn't have time to film at night. And I filmed this at the next day anyway. Yeah, when containment failure, I thought they was gonna tip over. So I don't know what happened in the movie. So what the hell is with the detonator? So in my version, I just say, you know what? When the countdown is done, just blow it up, and that's what happens. And then you got that shaky cam footage of the Carnosaur too. You see the box that's right there? That's where the helicopter's flying. and it translates back to where I filmed this shot outside. That's why the quality went back to blue. And this is the part where I fixed the volume and the audio.
Well, the military that helped us out and their weapons. Well, talking about the weapons though, they won't be using them anymore. They're dead already. They're all gone.
You see that my voice went a little bit more lower because of puberty. I redid this scene the next year.
You're really good at doing that. Battling the dinosaurs and stuff. Well, I bet that's the way I drive a car then.
Nope.
I think I'm already satisfied with. What is that, Hammond? Life already found the way. Greetings,
Don't we ever get tired of saying life finds a way?
my friend Billy again. Yeah, don't worry, Dr. Grant. I'll make sure you see him. Just tell him I said hi. Don't worry. I will.
And eventually that's what happens in the second film. New music that plays in the background was this fan-made Jurassic World theme song called John Hammond's Legacy, I think. Then the helicopter flies away, and then we cut back to the T-Rex as he's prepared to awake from getting shot up. And that T-Rex ain't gonna die. The end. I put a question mark there because, well, shit. I didn't know I was going to end this dang film with a whole cliffhanger. Produced and directed by me. And then the cast members, we got the name of the figure rather than just say, well, I'll place the figure's name. Dr. Alan Grant, Oscar Hardy, military general, military diver, Barracuda, Lieutenant Slick, Pilot Static, Ellis Shade, John Hammond, Reed Hammond, toys from Hasbro and Jap May. For some reason, I didn't add this in my other films because I added that one part was actually kind of pointless. Thanks for watching. Disclaimer: I do not own the sound or music. That is true. Now, closely before this scene ends with a fade, you can see a little bit of concrete, or if you can't see it that much, this is the part I'm going to talk about. There is an ending that I cut off completely. It was originally in this part, in part 5, the final part. It was at the ending as a cliffhanger, like a post-credits sequence. It's a sequence where the military general that got killed in the beginning of the film with the minigun, he gets right back up, feeling that he's like he felt unconscious, but really he almost got killed by a young Tyrannosaurus, a little baby Tyrannosaurus. He gets up, and then all of a sudden he finds an airplane that's like sitting around that same area, and then he gets that airplane, uses it to fly away, and then that Predator theme song was playing and uses that as a cliffhanger, so that general comes back in the second film. And that was pretty much it for the ending of that of this movie. So now that was Jurassic Park New Discovery, my first film. I still like the film despite the many flaws I have, and the second film will have the same, and all the other films I've probably filmed. Now, so that's out the way. We're talking about the first movie, the final version of the first movie. I will be talking about basically the backstory of many variations of the first film that I had to go to. Now, I'm gonna try to remember everything I say, try to remember everything I did back then before 2015. Like, this is before the release date for the official version of Jurassic Park: New Discovery. So, okay. The first attempt at making this movie was Jurassic Park 4. Obviously enough, it was called Jurassic Park 4 because we don't know the title for the next movie. I didn't want to call it Jurassic World yet because, well, we didn't know the information just yet. So it's called Jurassic Park 4, and the premise was Dr. Alan Grant and John Hammond are going to be researching this island. I think it's Isla Muerta. Yeah, Isla Muerta. They're researching that island, and also crew members. Okay, it's a basic plot. They're researching, but then things go wrong with the dinosaurs attack. But there are some scenes that really get me in the original version that I would like to talk about. Like there was a flyby sequence that's just like Jurassic Park 3, except without the dinosaurs showing up, I think. Or yeah, wait, there's dinosaurs showing up because it's pretty much just the footage from Jurassic Park 3. Yeah. It's the footage from that movie. And another thing I want to talk about is Andrew, the character that I introduced in that movie. He was introduced first, but he had the body of the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, you know, with the ugly fertility idol head. I had to replace it with the whip crack action entity. I actually have the figure to show you the example of what he originally looked like, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, what you see here is two Indiana Jones figures here. What I did was this. So, we got the whip crack action entity's head. I'm gonna pop that off. Move this actual. And then we got Fertility Idol Indy's head. Ugly head sculpt. Get that off. This is what I did. This is how I introduced Andrew. So, here we go. Okay. So, here we go. This was Andrew introduced into the original version of Jurassic Park 4. If you can get the autofocus. Whatever even focus right? Okay. I don't think it's going to focus right, but okay. So, this was Andrew. He was introduced in my first Jurassic Park toy movie before the dog shoot up the original. Like, yeah, it got whip crack action in his head because I thought this one would work well, and that's how he looked the original way. And not to mention, if you get Indiana Jones figures, if you get the first figure, like the first Indy figure from Wave 1, get the first two figures, if you get that, try this because it looks better. It looks better this way. So this is why I introduced Andrew like this, because the whip crack action Indiana Jones head looks so better on him, and this is how Andrew was introduced. So yeah, that's it for that. So that's how Andrew was introduced, and he was also kind of switching to different other figures. Like I had the Temple of Doom Indiana Jones figure, and then like after there's a sequence in that film where Alan and Andrew were chased by baby raptors, and Andrew comes off as the Temple of Doom Indiana Jones figure. He has no other sleeve at this arm. Well, yeah, he had no other sleeve at that point. He almost got eaten, so he didn't call his call. And John Hammond was not the guy in the blue hat figure. It was an Indiana Jones figure with the Harrison Ford head. It was the Indiana Jones with rocket launcher, that Crystal Skull Indiana Jones. So, like, it was that was John Hammond who plays in the original role. And I did not have a Billy Brandon figure. And also, another thing I want to talk about is a sequence in the original film that I do remember, quite frankly, is that Andrew was going nuts. He had a gun. He started shooting everybody. And then I think Alan Grant gets into a fight. Alan Grant tried to pick a fight with him to stop him from becoming even more corrupt or so, or like possessed. I don't know. And then Marion Ravenwood comes by and knocks Andrew out. I don't think I call her Marion. I called her Lola because, well, yeah, Lola. That's how she was in the second film. Her name was that. And it's pretty much the same premise as Jurassic Park Jurassic World Before the Park, with a sequence where Billy knocks up one of the characters. I forgot the character's name. I'll have to go back and look at it. So, anyways, it's like that same scene where Ian Malcolm and Billy Brennan were fighting each other, and then Tim Murphy had to stop him, and then he had to go up and look at it and like, what the hell just happened? So that pretty much the same premise. I had to remake that scene only in that film. But then another thing, the reason why Jurassic Park 4 ended up getting removed is that I hadn't even finished the film. I didn't even have that or a single compound when I was promised I was going to get a compound playset to make the last part, and then they get off the island. But that didn't work, so that was off the hook. It was deleted. Then I had to remake the film called Jurassic Park Dino Terror. Now, this was the original version of Dino Terror, but it's actually just New Discovery, like my attempt at making this next film. But if I'm going to be talking about the Dino Terror movies, I'll have to go straight to Dino Terror 1. I'll be reacting to that video to tell you my reaction to that. But like I said, I made so many versions of this first movie, and yeah, I'm not going to explain too much about Dino Terror because, well, the original version of Dino Terror, I had 2 attempts. And they were like the same ones though. But I'll get to more of that in the Dino Terror reaction video. So, anyways, I hope you guys actually found this video like you enjoyed this video, because it's good to know that you got to know some information and backstory behind this film. And yeah, but this won't be the first, and this won't be the only one, because I'll be reacting to the second film, Jurassic Park Rampage, right after this, or sooner or later, and then I'll be reacting to Dino Terror, my first one, and Jurassic Park 3 Supremacy Begins, and Return to Jurassic Park 1. And that's pretty much it. I won't be talking about Return to Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic World Before the Park, or I might talk about Jurassic World Before the Park soon. Or did I just mention that? I think, okay, sorry, I just get too much in my mind. I'll probably be talking about Jurassic World Before the Park because that also is a film that has issues. It's a bit longer than my first Jurassic Park toy movie, and I did that one right after the other films I've done before I got into Windows Movie Maker, which is Jurassic Park 3. And then that's pretty much it for what I'm saying here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video and the information and the backstory about this movie. And I will be seeing you guys in the next reaction video. So see you later.